You are welcome to online lectures with Pharmaternity the School Boy. Today we are going to take a look at pharmacology, and we have a question on the board. The question says, drugs are marketed by A. brand name, B. generic name, C. chemical name, D. none of the above. This question has to do with drug nomenclature. Drug nomenclature, which is a system of naming drugs for the purpose of identification, standardization, and other purposes. But basically, the question talks about drug nomenclature. I don't want to go into drug nomenclature now. Let me just limit myself to the question on the board. Now, before we can answer this question, we need to, analyze, have an overview of all the options. Then after that, we'll now pick the option that suits this description. Now let's go. Brand name. What is the brand name of a drug? Okay. Let me do this. So let me start from chemical name. Drugs can be gotten from natural source, synthetic source, or semi-synthetic source. Either any of these ways, drug can be sourced. Now, when this drug has been sourced and proven to take care of a particular disease or manage a particular condition, now the next thing is to name that drug. Now, actually, drugs are basically chemicals, whether in natural state, that herbs you use for treatment of a particular disease, that herbs contains active ingredient. That active ingredient, even though it's still natural, but that active ingredient is a chemical. It contains chemical substance. So through structural elucidation, let's assume they want to use it naturally as it is as a drug. You don't want to use that naturally as it is. They will do structural elucidation to actually know what is responsible for that activity. Now, it's still a chemical inside that. It's still chemical that is inside that herbs that is taking care of that disease. So now, whatever source, whether they extracted it and still add one or two chemical constituents to make it to improve its activity, that is semi-synthetic, or whether they study the structure and they synthesize entirely from the scratch, synthesize something that have the same structure with that natural drug, they are still what? Chemical. So now what happens is this. The chemical name of this drug is gotten from, it's just the chemical composition, the structural and molecular composition of that drug gives it the chemical name. So whether it's from natural source, or whether they semi-synthesize it, or whether they synthesize it from the scratch, everything still boils down to the chemical name of the drug. Still talks about the chemical composition, the molecular structure, the structural formula, and what have you, make up the chemical name of a drug. Now, this is purely on the side of the developers. It's the developer that actually know what they synthesize or what they extracted. So this is purely on the aspect of the developers. Someone else cannot give you a name they want to develop. So of course they work with, now you can't talk of developing or synthesizing drug without talking about chemists, medicinal chemists, pharmaceutical chemists, as the case may be. So now they'll come up with the chemical name. Now, another name is generic name. What is generic name? One thing there, that chemical name is highly professional. Not everybody can call the chemical name except chemists. So because of that, chemical name is cumbersome. So because of that now, they now look for another name that will be universally accepted for that particular drug. That what gives rise to what? The generic name. You either call it generic name or the common name or the INN. INN is International Non-Proprietary Name. Actually, the generic name is given by the World Health Organization. The generic name is given by the World Health Organization. The developers will come up with the chemical name, and now that they will now seek for the name to be given by the what? The WHO. So the WHO give the INN, the International Non-Proprietary name. Now, this name is somehow at least is okay, is shortened. It can be gotten from the chemical component of the drug. Yes, you can shorten it from the chemical component of the drug. That is basically where they get most of the generic names. Now, we have another one we call brand name. Now, brand name now is the name given to a particular drug by the company. Actually, when they mention brand name, the first thing that comes to mind is the innovator brand. Like now, a company, let me start from this. A company may discover a particular drug, seek generic name from the WHO, but they will now market it with a brand name under patent right. They will have patent because the money they spent in discovering that drug, they will have patent rights on that drug. So they protect it with a brand name for some number of years. When the patent right expires, now other companies can now come and they can decide to still market that same drug with the generic name given to the drug by the WHO, or they can just get their own brand name. But the main brand name comes from the innovator brand. That is the owners of the drug, those that discovered what? The company that discovered what? The drug. So now this brand name is twofold. The brand name given by the innovators of the brand of that particular drug, and the brand name that we are given by other pharmaceutical manufacturing companies that started manufacturing the drug after the patent right must have expired. So those ones are still brand names. So basically, brand name is name given to a drug by a company, be it the innovator brand or the other non-innovator brands. The basic name is that this name given by a company to a drug to protect it as their own property. But before the expiration of the patent right, no other company has rights to even give a brand name to a generic that is still under patent right. No, you cannot even do that, let alone using the same brand name. No, because they need to make the money they spent millions of dollars to billions to discover the drug. So they need to enjoy the benefit for a number of years before the patent right will expire. So that's what brand name. So actually, drugs are marketed with brand name. Drugs are marketed with brand names. Now, even though, as I said, there are some those drugs that have left whose patent right has expired. Some of these manufacturing companies may not want to brand it. They may just be saying it marketing it with the generic name. It happens. Now let me give an example to illustrate this. A popular drug we know as aspirin has its chemical name as 2-acetoxy-benzoic acid. 2-acetoxy-benzoic acid. This is the brand name. This is the chemical name of aspirin. The generic name is the aspirin we know. That is the generic name. This is the brand name. This is the generic name. This is the chemical name. Now, Let me use some brands in Nigeria. Some brands in Nigeria. Some companies now started manufacturing it. Some call their own. We have one we call Emperine. Emperine contains aspirin 300 mg by Emzor. This is by Emzor. We also have the same Emzor have Vasoprine. Vasoprine contains this one contains 300 mg aspirin. Vasoprine contains 75 mg aspirin. The same what? Emzor. We have the one, these things are tablet. We have the one by SKG, they call their own Anacin. These things are branded. They are branded Anacin, even though they are not the Anacin Emperine is not innovator brand, but still they are what? Branded. Anacin by SKG. So these things are branded. So the SKG now market their own aspirin 300 mg tablet as Anacin. So with this name now, they will now, anybody that is easy to just call Anacin than to, even though aspirin is even easy. And that one is acetyl salicylic acid. This is more chemical than generic. But the real IPAC name is 2-acetoxy-benzoic acid. This is also the chemical name, but this one is IPAC name, 2-acetoxy-benzoic acid. So aspirin is easier to call. It's easier to call. But Anacin, these ones are the one given to the drug by the manufacturers. So they will market it with that name. All right. So from this explanation, the only name that suits the description above is brand name. Brand name. So brand name is the name by which drugs are marketed. Thank you very much for your attention. Please, if you have any question, feel free to chat me up on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp line is on the screen. Please follow my page and like my page on Facebook. My page name is Pharmaternity the Schoolboy. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. My YouTube name is Pharmaternity the Schoolboy. It's on the screen. On monthly basis, specifically first Saturday of every month, I organize academic competition. I tagged it Academic Battle with Pharmaternity the Schoolboy. It will help every student that participates to grow academically, to study, to develop a reading and study culture. If you want to participate, feel free to chat me up on WhatsApp. I will send you the link for registration. It's free of charge and there are prizes to be won. Please, I also need sponsors for this. If you want to sponsor this, please chat me up on WhatsApp so I can send you account details for transfer of money. Any amount you transfer will go a long way, encouraging our children to pursue academic excellence. Please like my lecture videos, watch them, like them, comment on them, share with your friends, with your children, with your colleagues, and with your students. Someone out there may need these lectures. God bless you. See you next time.